Where's my prosecutor?
He's talking to one of the witnesses, Judge.
That was terrible. I don't you because I get back to my office and there was an email from him. And I'm like, oh Lord.
Are you ready, sir?
Yes, Judge.
Run this way. This way.
Holding case 2458231, for the state of Michigan versus Demetrius Raymond Mallory. Defendant is charged in count 1, homicide, murder, first degree premeditated. Count 2, felony firearm. Appearances for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brandon Sawyer for the People, P83033.
And Gabby Silver appearing on behalf of Demetrius Mallory.
Tell me your name for the record, sir. Demetrius, another. There's a date time set for preliminary examination. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many witnesses?
3 to 4 witnesses, Your Honor.
Do you have any preliminary matters before you call witnesses?
First, I'd ask for a mutual order of sequestration with an exception for my officer in charge, Officer Terrell Williams.
All right. Any objection to the OIC remaining?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land, if you are a witness or potential witness, I'm ordering you to log off at this time. That being said,
At this time, Your Honor, the people would call Ms. Sandra Lester. I suppose one other preliminary, Your Honor, matter, Your Honor. Prior to testimony, pursuant to MCL 76611B1D, I've moved to admit the medical examiner's report completed by Dr. Catherine Perez.
any objection?
No objection.
Admitted.
Thank you. I'll just briefly summarize that it was the opinion that the death was caused by a gunshot wound to the back. Dr. Catherine Perez, PEREZ, the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office, authored report ME 24-07791, performed a forensic examination on June 20th, 2024. The met was the death was caused by a gunshot wound to the back, and that the manner of death was homicide.
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Please step forward, give your name and the spelling of your name to the young ladies that's waving at you there. Please raise your right hand, ma'am. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat in the witness box right next to me. Voice up nice and loud and speak into that microphone that'll be to your left once you have a seat. You may begin when you're ready.
Judge, she has a very soft voice. She holds it.
No, I don't mind at all. May begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Miss. Could you introduce yourself to the judge?
I'm Sandra Lester, mother of London Lester.
And was London, you said you were London Lester's mother,
Yes,
and how long had you known London Lester?
all the time,
And how long was that?
48 years.
And did you see London Lester on June 19th, 2024?
I did.
Where did you see him at?
At the house,
And where is that house located?
1335 West Warren Avenue,
Is that in the city of Detroit, Wayne County?
Detroit, Michigan. I'm giving you the zip code if you need.
That's okay. What is the nearest sort of intersections there?
Trouble and Warren.
And what about another? Is there any other? Is that the closest intersection, I should say?
There's Trouble, Warren.
And back in June, stay at that location on West Warren? And did London stay there, or was he just visiting?
Just visiting.
Did you recall what time he visited that day?
No, because I actually thought it was about 3 something.
And when you say 3, well, was the sun up or down when you visited?
I think it's something else.
And did he come alone or with anyone?
You know, so he was on.
And do you know how he got there?
He drove his car.
What kind of car did London drive back in June this year?
A gray, I think, Chrysler Pacific.
And have you seen that car before?
Yes.
And the time you had seen that car, was there ever any damage to it?
No, he took good care of his cars. He was good.
And what is located at 1335 West Warren? What sort of structure, if any, is there?
It's
Could you describe it for us? Apartments, condos, single-family homes?
townhouses and apartments.
And when London visited you on the 19th, did he at some point leave?
Yes,
And do you recall what time he left at?
I do.
What happened after he left? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What happened after London left that day?
Each,
Well, what makes you say that? Did you hear anything that led you to that conclusion?
yes,
What did you hear?
shots, but they sound far away.
Remember how many shots you heard?
I do.
Was it more than one? What did you do at that point when you heard the shots?
Here we go.
Is that what you were thinking in that moment?
You know, I wasn't.
Did you at any point see anyone with a gun?
I didn't.
Did ultimately go to Henry Ford Hospital on June 19th this year. And did you see London there?
Yes.
And when you saw him at the hospital there, is he alive? Sorry, miss, I saw you shake your head there, but I just needed to say yes or no. First approach the witness, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ms. Lester, I'm going to do some tissues here. Take a second. I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examine.
No questions.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
Your Honor, at this time, the people have called police officer Fitzgerald.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. You may begin when you're ready.
Thank you. Sir, can you please introduce yourself to the court?
Officer Fitzgerald, badge 3354, 3rd precinct.
And with which state your first name?
Yeah,
And Officer Fitzgerald, you employed by the city of Detroit. You employed by the city of Detroit back on June 19th of 2024. What was your assignment that day?
I was scout 351.
And were you working a particular shift that day?
That was 11A to 7. 11A to 7.
And were you working alone or with a partner?
Yes.
Sorry, which one?
Officer Tolbert.
Officer Tolbert. That's T-O-L-B-E-R-T.
Yes, sir. Darius Tolbert.
And what was your assignment that day?
Just normal police work.
Okay.
Routine patrol.
Routine patrol. On June 19th, 2024, did you have occasion to go to the area of Stanley and Trumbull?
Yes, sir.
And is that located within the 3rd precinct?
Yes, sir.
You're pretty familiar with the layout of the streets in the 3rd precinct?
Yes, sir.
If you know, where is Stanley and Trumbull in relation to West Warren and Trumbull?
Just north of Trumbull, just north of Warren, sorry. It's right next to 5500 Trumbull, across from Elijah McQuaid Apartments.
And Trumbull runs north-south.
North and south, yes, sir.
And when you got to that location at Stanley and Trumbull, what, if anything, did you observe?
We observed a,
Objection to what we,
Sorry, what, if anything, did you observe?
I observed a gray Chrysler Pacifica in the grass on the west side of Trumbull, in it would be the southbound lanes, but it was in the grass off of the street. It had ran over a bus sign. There was another scout just north of the vehicle, Scout 37. And then as we pulled up, medics also pulled up with us.
When you say medics, is that like an ambulance?
An ambulance, yes.
And was there any observable damage to that Chrysler?
Yes, sir. On the rear side, the rear passenger, backseat passenger window was shattered. There were numerous bullet holes in the rear passenger door along with the front passenger door. And the front passenger window was shattered, just not broken.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor. This will be People's Proposed Exhibits 6 through 9. Sir, I'm handing you what's been marked on the front as People's Proposed Exhibits 6 through 9. So you can just flip through those and then flip them over when you're done. Sir, do you recognize those?
Yes, sir.
What do you recognize them as?
The victim's vehicle that he was driving today.
Is that those photos fairly and accurately reflect the vehicle you saw at Stanley and Trumbull on June 19th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
Permission to, Your Honor, this time the people move to admit People's Proposed Exhibits 6 through 9.
Any objection?
I don't have any objection.
Admitted?
You have moved to publish.
Yes.
And Officer Fitzgerald. Which way was the vehicle pointed out from?
North.
How far from Stanley and Bowman is this? Does Trumbull point towards Henry Ford Hospital?
Yes, it does a little twists and turns, but yes, at the end, it comes out to the boulevard.
If you know, how far is Henry Ford Hospital from Stanley and Trumbull?
I would say maybe a mile.
And did you see any injured person at that location?
Yes, sir.
Did you talk to that injured person at all?
Could not, he was unconscious.
And when you say he, so it was a male individual?
Yeah, yes.
Do you recall anything specific about the injury that you observed?
From where he was sitting in the car, we couldn't exactly see the injury until the ambulance pulled him out of the vehicle.
And at the time the medics pulled him from the vehicle, did you observe any injury?
Yes, there were 2 GSWs, gunshot wounds to the rear right shoulder.
Were there any other occupants in the vehicle when you saw? No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
No questions.
Sir, were you able to identify the body that was in that vehicle?
We identified him through his license plate. We ran his plate and name
All right.
and matched the ID, the SOS picture to who we saw on scene.
Who was it?
Mr. London Lester.
Thank you. Any questions based on my questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may step.
Your Honor, at this time, I think would call Sergeant Stephen Ford.
Judge, he's gonna play video, and so I'd like my client to be able to watch it as well. Sorry.
We can position him in the courtroom. They usually have to sit down. So you can see the screen.
Well, I don't wanna tell them that.
You can,
Yeah. me?
You have to zoom in. There you go.
What? You don't have any glasses? Okay. He doesn't have glasses, so I don't. Okay.
Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Sir, thank you. So please have a seat and witness box. Maybe again when you're ready.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you please introduce yourself to the court?
Sergeant Stephen Ford. Sergeant Stephen Ford.
Sergeant Ford, which department are you employed?
City of Detroit Police Department.
And do you have any particular assignment?
Just over time.
And within the homicide unit, do you have any specific assignment or duties?
Yes, I'm a certified video technician.
And as a certified video technician, what are your general duties?
Extracting videos from any media that contains video.
Now, is that something you're able to do from your desk, or do you have to go out to locations?
Have lots of locations.
And when did you did you have any involvement in the fatal shooting investigation of an individual by the name of London Lester?
Yes.
And do you recall when you first became involved in that investigation?
The day of the scene.
And do you ultimately recover videos in that case?
I did.
Was it more than one?
Yes.
And how did you recover the videos in that case?
I made the locations and I extracted video from a gas station, a collision shop, and Wayne State.
And ultimately, I'm just going to ask you some very specific questions on one of the videos. Did you recover video from the field house at Wayne State University?
Yes.
And do you recall what street that is on?
The field house.
Yes.
The field house was on Warren.
And when you recover videos, do they sometimes have date and time stamps associated with them?
Yes.
And do you do anything to ensure that those are accurate?
Yes.
What do you do?
I calibrate the time with the world clock.
How do you calibrate the time with the world clock?
I face the DVR, the monitor, where the live feed is playing, and I just compare it to the world clock. The time.
And as it relates to the field house videos from Wayne State, you said you recovered some there?
Yes.
Was the date and time accurate to the world clock on that system?
Yes.
And prior to your testimony today, did you have an opportunity to review a video, Fieldhouse Southeast?
Yes.
And did that video fairly and accurately depict the video that you recovered from Wayne State?
Yes.
At this time, I would to admit people's proposed exhibit 5.
I don't have any objection, Judge. Can you let me into the meeting so I can try to show it to, I'm gonna try to show it to my client on this, on my computer, if that's okay.
That's fine. Admit it.
That was exhibit 5. Can you give me a minute? Yeah.
And Sergeant Ford, I'm just gonna have you look at the screen there.
Wait, hold on. I want to turn on my.
Sergeant Ford, just have you turn your attention to the
No.
television.
I'm sorry, just give her.
Sergeant Ford, I'm gonna have you turn your attention to the television.
Yes.
You turn.
I turned the button.
What's depicted on the screen there? That field post video they just testified about.
Yes.
And the date of Wednesday, June 19th, 2024 at 2:13 p.m. in the upper left corner is there. Is that the time stamp, date stamp that you confirmed the accuracy of?
Yes.
And could you just, if you know, what street we're looking at here?
He's Warren. He's Warren.
Warren. And do you know from here which way Trumbull and Warren would be located?
To the right.
To the right.
Yes.
I'm going to publish exhibit 5.
Hold on, I'm zooming back in to try to make this look better. Yes, I was zooming back in, I zoomed out, I'm zooming back in. Judge, could you let me back in?
Trying.
Thank you. I'm not gonna join audio.
Sergeant Ford, were you ultimately able to isolate a portion of this video as well?
Yes.
Can you explain to the court how you did that?
I zoomed in to the area that was involved in the incident, just to give a clear picture of that video.
And when you zoom in on a video, does it change sort of anything about the video itself?
It does not.
Does it change the coloring of the video?
No.
Does it change the ratio, size of the video?
No.
And did you ultimately do that in this case?
I did.
Prior to your testimony today, did you have an opportunity to review that?
Yes.
That video that you reviewed before your testimony today fairly and accurately captured the sort of extraction portion that you isolated from that video.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 10.
No objection.
Admit it.
Right here, Sergeant Ford, just have you turn your attention to the television again. Is this what you just testified about, that sort of isolation of the video?
Yes,
All right, and are we still looking at Warren Street here?
yes,
And you testified earlier that Trumbull from this view is to the right,
yes,
still to the right in this video?
yes.
Now I'm going to publish what's been admitted as Exhibit 10. Going to stop that. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examine.
No questions.
Thank you, sir. You may step.
Your Honor, at this time, if you would call Police Officer Terrell Williams.
Raise your hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Please introduce yourself to the court.
And I'm Officer Terrell Williams, badge 4988,
And Officer Williams, with which department are you employed?
Detroit Police Department.
And are you involved in the fatal shooting investigation of a gentleman by the name of London Lester?
Yes, I was the officer in charge,
As the officer in charge, when did you first become involved in this investigation?
the day of the incident.
And when you say the day of the incident, would that have been June 19th, 2024?
Yes,
And did you yourself respond to the scene?
I did.
And did you make observations?
Yes, I observed shell casings in the grass near a building of the apartment complex.
And where was that apartment complex located?
That was located on Warren and Trumbull.
Did you observe any injured person at that location?
No,
Did you yourself see any injured person?
I seen the injured person at the hospital.
So did you go to the hospital that same day?
Yes,
And when you say that injured person, would that be the individual that prior officer identified as London Lester?
correct.
Did you encounter Miss Sandra Lester at the hospital?
Yes,
Was that also on June 19th?
yes.
And I'm gonna put on the screen what was just admitted as People's Exhibit 10. Not even gonna play it. Do you recognize what's depicted here?
Yes,
What do you recognize it as?
that's the apartment complex where the incident took place.
And you testified about observing some shell casings.
Correct.
How many shell casings did you observe?
There were 9 .40 caliber shell casings.
All were 40 caliber casings.
Yes,
And is the area where you observed them visible in this video?
yes.
Can you just describe for the court exactly where it is in relation to a tree or a building or something like that?
They were behind the tree in the center of the roadway, in the grass, near where the brick and the siding are of the apartment.
And when you say the apartment, can you say which side of Warren it's on? Like directionally, north or south?
I'm not real familiar with the area, but the top of the screen, like where that building is, right next to the building.
Right next to the building that's there
Correct.
at the top of the screen, sorry, okay. And Were there any other casings that you observed?
No.
I'm just pointing where the pointer is. Can you just tell me if that where they were at?
To the right here. Yeah, in that area there.
In this area? That pointer, I can make you go over there and point. Thank you. You ultimately, well, how long have you been a police officer?
5 years.
And how long have you been assigned to homicide?
2 years.
During your course of employment with the Detroit Police Department, have you ever performed interrogations?
Yes.
How many?
Multiple.
Too voluminous to recall?
Yes.
Is there a particular sort of series of procedures you follow when performing interrogations?
Yes, we make sure we read the Miranda rights before we get into the question.
So I'm going to take you right to July 10th, 2024. Did you ultimately take part in an interrogation of Mr. Demetrius Mallory?
Yes,
Have you seen Mr. Mallory here in the courtroom?
I do.
Can you point to him and identify an article of clothing for the record?
Yes, it's behind the defense table with the green jumpsuit.
And I'd ask the record reflect his identification, Mr. Mallory.
So no.
And when you took part in the interrogation of Mr. Mallory, were you alone or with a partner?
I was with the partner,
Who is that partner?
Detective Kelly Lucy,
And where did that interrogation take place?
the Detroit Detention Center.
Do you do all interrogations there?
No,
I should say, of adults, are those done at the TDC?
some at the DDC and then we do some at the headquarters.
And are those interrogation rooms at either TDC or headquarters video or audio recorded in any way?
Both.
And is the functionality of the video or audio recording something that you have any control?
No.
Can you just explain exactly what you mean by that? How they function?
Yeah, so it's on a camera system that we can access through our green light database that we can just go into view.
Do you have to start and stop the cameras in any way?
No.
Are they automatic?
Yes.
And was your video interrogation of Mr. Mallory video and audio recorded?
Yes.
Before you completed the interrogation of Mr. Mallory, did you advise him of his rights?
I did.
And you testified about a Miranda form of some sort?
Yes.
And did you ensure this? Did you ultimately determine his highest level of education?
Yes.
What did you determine that as?
I believe it to be high school.
And did you ask him if he could read or write the English language?
I did.
At any point in your interactions with him, did he indicate that he had difficulty with the English language?
No, he said he could read and write.
At any point, did Mr. Mallory indicate that he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
At any point, was he denied food, water, or bathroom?
No. We asked him if he was hungry or needed any water. We gave him water throughout the course of the interrogation.
At any point, did Mr. Mallory indicate that he required medical attention?
No.
Is there a departmental policy on arrestees who ask for medical attention?
We would have to seek it for them if they were to inquire about it.
And at no point did Mr. Mallory request medical attention?
No.
Were you present for Mr. Mallory's arrest?
Yes.
And do you know how long prior to the interrogation the arrest took place?
I believe the day before.
To your knowledge, based on your observations, was Mr. Mallory ever deprived of sleep or exposed to anything or denied food, medical care, bathroom during the course of this custodial status?
No.
And Following being apprised of his rights, did Mr. Mallory continue to engage in a conversation with you?
Yes, he did.
And prior testimony or at some point through the course of the investigation, did you review that videotape recording?
During the course of the investigation, yes.
And did that video fairly and accurately capture the July 10th interrogation of Mr. Mallory?
Yes.
Did it appear to have been modified or silenced, anything in any way?
No.
And at this time, I would turn it over to defense for voir dire as to the voluntary, knowing, and intelligent nature of the interrogation.
Well, I mean, I have a little bit deeper of it already as to the basis for the arrest of Mr. Mallory. Would this be the appropriate time?
This is just where there's.
Thank you, Judge. I needed sort of fruit of poisonous tree, but okay, I got you.
Purposes of this hearing, the court makes a finding that the statement was knowingly and voluntarily given.
Thank you. And then at this time, I would move to admit People's Proposed Exhibit 2, which would be the video interrogation that Officer Williams just testified about. This time I'm going to publish it. Say I'm not intending on publishing it in its entirety. I just sort of two relevant portions, and then if afterwards defense has other portions, we can go from there.
Well, I object. I mean, I think that if it's gonna come in, it should come in. Whether we watch it
Well,
here.
it is in its entirety, but he's going to direct my attention to those parts that he wants to, he wants me to look at more than he can direct you to what you.
Okay, I don't have them. I mean, I'd like you to watch the entire, frankly, but cross that bridge. We'll come to.
It is approximately 2.5 hours in its entirety. I have roughly 15 minutes between two portions. Going to publish officer. Turn our attention to the screen, Officer Williams. I know we just that's the testimony about People's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize what's depicted on the screen there?
Yes, it's an interrogation room at the Detroit Detention Center.
It's fairly accurately depicts the room you interrogated Mr. Mallory on July 10th.
Yes.
First published from, let me see this, Officer Williams. When you reviewed it, the timestamps and the date stamps were accurate.
Yes.
Start publishing from 4:23 p.m.
You to start, so really gotta set up a date. So who you know that live over in the apartments on Trumbull and Warren? A lot of people. And who you the closest with? I grew up down there, so. You grew up in that apartment? Somewhat. Like, I don't be down there no more, but yeah, I grew up down there. Is that one of the places you be staying? Why I don't be down there? Because it be too much drama. But then people just be carrying on. Drama as in what, man? All type of stuff. If you go down there, you just see it. Like you see all type of stuff. When the last time you been over there? A long time. I barely be. I don't go over there no more. What's a long time? Chilling. For real. What's a long time? I can't even remember.
You said you don't go over there no more? Like, give me an estimate of how long it's been. Days or weeks?
I can't even tell you. I don't know. I got family that stay down there, but I don't be.
What was your unit number, apartment number, whatever they call it, when you lived over there?
When I stayed over there, 1303 West Warren.
1303?
Yeah, West Warren, apartment 2D.
What side is that on? Facing the school? Facing Wayne State?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Is that close to the office?
No, on the other side.
On the other side?
I ain't stayed down there in like 2-3 years.
The structure of the place don't change.
Yeah, my peoples had got sick, and I went out there to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back. They told me like you owe some money because I ain't get the letter. And then you not working no job. You feel me? They send you a utility bill so you could pay your lights and gas and stuff. You feel
A
me?
check?
Yeah.
They send you a bill or a check?
I mean, a utility check, my bad.
So they pay the bills, they pay the utilities for you?
Yeah, if you're not working. But if you're working, you have to pay that. So yeah.
That's what your people said?
No, that's how it go.
How much is the utility check?
So utility check nothing like $50-$60. So.
But they pay
Or
you for
however
you,
much
right?
the light bill be.
And then somebody pay it for you. You usually got to
The
cash
people.
the check and send it to
The housing people.
They pay your bill for you?
Yeah.
Damn.
So how it was like people was breaking in my house and stuff while I was gone. I'm calling them, telling them like to lock the door up for me and stuff like that. And they sent me a letter in the mail and I had to do something. I think it was something with recertify something because every year or something you got to recertify. Mm-hmm. So by me getting the letter late, like because I'm gone, they just told me like they told me some crazy stuff. Like to this day, they say I owe them like $9,000, $10,000. I'm like, I wasn't working. Like,
but you didn't verify that you wasn't working.
Like, that's a lot of money.
Why wouldn't you recertify so you could keep that bill down?
Mm-hmm.
And you just filling out an application?
Then it was like I stayed there for so long about stuff, people coming to my house, stuff missing and stuff, and I'm telling them they not really, you feel me, like not really doing nothing. So I'm like, I stayed here for so long with no problems. Like,
what address you tell me? 13 what? West Warren?
Yeah.
What was the address? 1303.
03.
West Warren. Make sure we're talking about the same place. You know what it looked like on Google Maps? Is it this place right here?
Yeah, but it's all the way on the end.
On the end?
It's on the other side. Like you actually have to go in them. It's all the way on the other side.
Like, let me see which way. This one's towards the church, so we gotta go the other way. Not this entrance right here.
Let me see. It's back to that part. You can't see it. It's in the back though.
Like against here? Or is it on the other side of this?
On the other side.
Okay. But it's not the high rise. You ever seen them?
Yeah, I stayed down. I told
you
you, my grandma stayed down there, but people stay down there. Like.
So this West Warren. So the address was, you said that yours stayed on the other side, like through the parking lot? Okay.
I stay from down there. They be having too much drama.
Mm-hmm.
When the last time you said you was there? When's the last time you said you was there?
Can't even remember.
When did you get kicked out?
And I got kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years ago.
That was couple years ago? Okay, so if you was over there recently, who would you be over there visiting?
Shit, my auntie, that's about it. And I don't even be visiting her. She been gone.
Which one did she stay in?
She stay in the whole other part, like the whole other part, like towards Forest.
Like towards Forest and like Trumbull. And what's her address?
Don't give me the line.
So you don't know the unit. Okay. Let's see. If you remember a certain day. Remember this day? Not at all. You know where that picture is from?
Nope. Y'all know it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I told you everything was scrambled when y'all, you feel me? I was lost all in the sauce. Y'all came and got me.
We talking about
No, I'm talking
specifically
about
about this picture right there, baby. Not nothing else.
I don't know.
That's not a picture of you. We can agree it look like you though, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
You say a little bit?
Are those the same shoes you got on right now?
Yeah, these new.
Okay. Compared to what?
You see them, they new.
Compared to what though? Compared to the shoes in this picture?
Yeah, I don't even know nothing about that. You feel me?
We're asking, is that you in the picture? Not nothing about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me about that day.
Pausing it at 4 minutes, 4:32 and 36 seconds PM. Officer Williams, did you show Mr. Mallory something there?
Yes, I showed the still image from the green lights of the apartment complex.
And is that the apartment complex at 1335 West Warren?
Yes.
And Mr. First Witness, Your Honor, and he was proposed 3.
Yes.
Should you recognize what it came to you there that's labeled as People's Proposed Exhibit 3?
Yes.
Is that the photo you testified about showing Mr. Mallory?
Yes.
And is that the photo that you just indicated? Yeah, that was me.
Yes.
Can I move to make People's Exhibit 3?
No objection.
10 minutes.
And publish copy. So, and Officer Williams, when we're looking at that exhibit there, could you just describe what, if any, street is visible there?
Yes, that would be Trumbull. It's in the apartment complex, but a different parking lot from where the shooting took place.
And were you able to, there are multiple cameras there, I know we heard from Sergeant Ford, correct?
Correct.
Oh, well, I should say this. Did you extract that photo from video recovered as it relates to June 19th, 2024?
Yes.
Resumed playing at 4:32 and 26 seconds PM.
I'm sorry, for what?
Four 32 and 26 seconds PM.
When you was over there? Because you say you're not over there a lot. So if you're over there randomly, you don't remember that specific time. If you're not in jail a lot and you come to jail, you don't go to jail. You're not over there, you're gonna remember what you was doing over there. Chilling. My girl stayed over there.
What's her name?
In that lot.
What's her name?
So.
What's her name? Is your girl, so we're not gonna, what's her name?
Jada.
Jada? What's Jada's last name?
So, I don't even know. I just started talking to her.
How long?
About probably.
Y'all celebrated a birthday together?
We celebrate a birthday.
Like her birthday or your birthday? When is your birthday?
My birthday at the end of the year.
So you have, when is her birthday? You don't know her birthday either? Damn. You diabolical, bro.
I don't even talk to her no more. I stopped talking to her. She irritated.
Okay, but on this day you went to go visit her. What was her name and birthday when you went to go visit her that day?
What was her name and birthday? Mm-hmm. Her name is the same thing again.
You didn't tell us.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
You didn't tell us.
Her name Jada.
It's just Jada. How old is Jada?
She down her 30s.
So she 27, 28, 29?
Like 28, 29.
What apartment does she live in?
She stayed at the and that one. I don't know the name though. That end one right there.
If we pull up the picture, you be able to show us?
So I pull up the picture. Yeah, this from the top. I ain't got no problem with telling y'all. I don't do nothing wrong. It ain't over here. Yeah, but this one was from the top, so you could see which building it was.
Yeah.
You said what? Like, so this?
We go back. Yeah, you at the church or something.
So this from the top. So you can see all the buildings. There go Forest and Trumbull. There go one. See what I'm saying? It's the back part. The part where you see me at on the other side. So in this picture, he was right here. Right? Where? Oh. That shit look funny from the what's the name?
From the satellite view?
Yeah. I ain't got no problem telling y'all what I know. Yeah, you can't even see it.
Okay.
It's on the left side though. Like what? Over here? In that building. In this building? Yeah. Top or bottom? Top? Like upstairs? So you know how it is, you go upstairs and you make a right or you make a left or
when you look out the window, what do you see? So when you in our room, our house? Trees.
So these trees in the back? Okay. So what was up with this day? Walk me through that day. Just walk me through. I woke up, went to the liquor store, money, went over to the gas station. Walk me through what happened that day. I'd be so high, bro. Then I'd be chilling. So it just be like, I thought you said you don't do none of that. I don't. I'd be high off weed. I smoke weed. So you feel me? Yeah, but
I
when we
can't-
came
you
in here,
can't-
we actually
you can't
say,
just ask me like, yeah, what happened on this day? And then what
We
happened
not,
on this day?
okay, boom.
I'm
This
not
day.
gonna remember.
But
it
this
for
day
real.
though, hold on, this day. No other day.
What
Forget
is-
July 1st I asked about. Forget the 1st of June. This day.
I'll give you something to refresh your memory. You got a black tank top on and it's hot as hell. That day was hot. I mean, you can't really forget that. That's why I'm trying to. So walk me through that day. Like what? I woke up, checked the mail, went to the store, did this. Me and my girl did that. We. I've been in the house all day.
Except for this moment.
Yeah. Probably just walking around or something.
You want to see somebody? No.
I know everybody, so it
So
wasn't
you
like I
gonna-
don't talk to nobody. Everybody fuck with me.
Is there air conditioning in those units?
Yes.
So you'd rather be outside in the heat than in the air conditioning?
No, I ain't pretty sure.
So if you went outside, what you go outside to do?
Ain't no telling.
We going to the gas station, the liquor store, get something to eat, what we doing?
Right there.
I'm asking which one you were doing. All right, just take on something I said. Which one you doing?
I can't even remember. I barely remember when you showed me this shit. Like,
You ain't forget what you look like, sir. Come on, my guy.
okay.
Come on, my guy.
okay, so you keeping it a buck with us on everything?
Yes.
So what? So who picked you up that day?
So,
I'm just asking you that to see if you're gonna be truthful with me, because at this point, you don't know.
probably family or something. I don't know.
If I show you that car, you tell me who picked you up.
Type shit. My brother Joe car.
Joe, what's Joe's name?
But he just honestly, he just passed like not so long ago.
He passed, like died. You
So
talking
who
about
looking
Joe
out?
Beyond that we just talked to?
No,
ain't
no. That's my brother Joe is.
Pausing at 4:40 and 39 seconds PM. Officer Williams, did you just there show Mr. Mallory a different photo?
Yes,
What was that photo of?
it was a photo of a truck that picked him up. Actually.
Objection, that's hearsay. That's not something that he personally observed.
I'll ask a couple more foundational questions here. Sir, that photograph that you showed him just now, how did you prepare it?
It was a still screenshot from the green light camera.
And was it from that same location as Exhibit 3?
Yes, same camera.
And is there a reason that you prepared that photograph?
Yes,
What was that reason?
it depicted a vehicle that picked him up after the incident.
And when you say that, is that from that same vantage point as that previous video? Those are the same cameras?
Yes,
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
What's people's proposed Exhibit 4? Sir, you just testified about a photo. What I plan to do there is people's proposed Exhibit 4 fairly and accurately reflect the photo that you showed Mr. Mallory back on July 11th.
yes,
Appear to have been modified or altered in any way.
no,
Your Honor, at this time I move to admit people's proposed Exhibit 4.
Any objection?
No.
Admit.
Published. And now going to resume playing at 5:11 p.m.
What happened after you shot him? What happened?
Never.
I didn't quite go back far enough. So I'll resume at 5:10:26 p.m.
All right.
295. You get 200 pounds. Don't know how tall you is.
Probably.
Okay. And you did not get into a fist fight first. Did he threaten your life when you walked over there? What did he say?
Bullshit.
What happened after you shot him? What happened?
I never shot him. I'm just saying he said he was gonna kill me. When the shots went off, I was running.
Okay, let's go back. Hold on. Before you get to going, because I'm going to tell you again, we have the whole entire thing on video. So if you're going to say you didn't shoot him, we can just cut it right now. Let the people who going to see the case watch the video, and then you can tell them that you didn't shoot him and see how it go then.
I'm going to keep it outside.
We still at the why? We still on why?
We just need to know why.
I was protecting myself.
Okay, explain that to us.
He said he was gonna kill me.
When he say that?
Shit, he was telling everybody that.
Why?
That's the bullshit your name been in? That shit?
I don't know.
You know exactly why he said that to you.
You know it's about his brother.
Yeah, you know that.
We know that. We've been doing our job, brother.
Come on, G. We just met you, bro. We know that you were accused of killing his brother. Of course he gonna be upset with you. But he ain't come see you about it. He ain't not once time throw a bullet at you since you killed his brother.
And it's been 2 years.
I'm not harassing me.
We're asking you simple questions. You say he's been harassing you. On what?
Yeah, you've been telling everybody. You've been telling people.
Has he told you?
Yes.
To your face.
Not to my face.
Okay, so where did he tell you this?
Is it on social media so we can verify it?
No, he called somebody and they put him on speakerphone and was talking to me and stuff.
How long ago did that happen? The speakerphone conversation.
Yeah, you feel me? For everybody.
How long ago did the speakerphone?
For everybody even. Huh?
How long ago did the speakerphone conversation happen? Probably about 2 years ago. He wanted to ask you, did you hurt his brother?
I can't remember.
I'm sure that's what the conversation was about.
Yeah, but when that shit was going on, I was gone. Like, you feel me? That shit.
Okay, listen. We still, so this man say he gonna kill you. But right now, we still in a situation where we see a video where you walk straight to him, unload the clip, and walk straight back. So to me, you went to find him.
No. You see, I was already down there. I was on the phone. Look. Do this look like I was on something? It's like I'm trying to hurt anybody?
You were going to him. Like somebody marked him and they was telling you to come over there. No. I'm telling you, when I'm watching the video, what I see.
I was going to the smoke shop.
Okay.
To get some woods.
So where's the smoke shop?
Towards that way. Literally.
Can you cut through his place and get to the wood shop?
To the smoke shop?
Smoke shop?
Yes.
Where's it at?
Where's the smoke shop?
What street is it on?
Puff. I think it's Puff Smoke.
Where's
What
it
street
at?
is it on?
You lived over there your whole life, brother. Where's the
You were walking to it, baby. Where were you walking to?
On Warren.
It's on Warren?
By
what? The grocery store. It's Puff Club.
Why would you walk through?
Shop.
Why would you walk through here to go there? Where were you at? Did you walk through the lot?
Hmm?
Where were you at that you walked through his lot to get there?
Where was I at that I walked through his lot?
This lot, I don't know what lot it is.
This lot?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I at?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was in the building.
Okay. So is this Puff Club? Puff Club. You going there?
Yes.
So where in between walking to Puff Club, pulling out, do you get the idea I'm about to shoot him? That's what the why is. This man is minding his own fucking business. You come around the building, you marked him out, and you start shooting. I need to know why. At that moment, what made you do that?
He said he was gonna kill me. He had money on my head. He was running around looking for me. They've been threatening my peoples.
Can you prove any of that? We need it for your defense, baby. Can you prove it for your side of the story? Can you prove it? Can we give us a name of a person he said it to, a social media post that was on, a report that was made, somebody that witnessed him do that?
And then, if you really look about it, all them people, like that man, them people, they bullies. Like they bully everybody. Like if anybody knows something about them, I know y'all do. I know y'all do your homework. So if y'all do your homework on them, y'all gonna see all the stuff. Like
put us on. Put us in the right direction.
Y'all just see the bullshit. So,
give us an example of something we need to look for. Something we need to look for.
Yeah, because right now we're trying to ask you, do you have evidence that this man was harassing you, and you're not giving us nothing. That's what I'm trying to understand. Where are you? Where is he saying this stuff to? You say he didn't even say it to your face. And then you saying, no, it ain't no. And then you
everywhere.
Okay, social media.
Everywhere.
Did he message you on social media?
No.
Did he post it? Did he tag you? What did he do? We need something that's because right now it's just like, yeah, you saying it, but you ain't giving us where.
Shit. He probably said it on social media before.
Probably, or he did.
Probably, yeah.
No, that's two different things. He probably or he did.
I'm about sure he did.
About sure or he did? You're not positive.
You want his name? You want his name so you can see?
What's his social media?
I think it's his name.
What's his name?
What's your social media?
I don't even be on social media.
That's not the question. The question.
People tell me stuff.
The question was, what is your social media?
You know,
not if you be on.
If somebody threatening you, ain't somebody you know gonna come tell you if they cool with you or like you.
Okay, what's your social media?
I don't have one.
That's not what you just said there.
You said you don't be on it like that.
Yeah.
Those two different answers.
I don't.
When you created the account, what did the name say?
My name's Jay Williams.
What? On what?
Shit, Facebook.
What's your Instagram? Everybody got Instagram. Don't even open your mouth a lie.
I don't be on that shit. I
barely. What name did you use to start Instagram?
I don't be on social media for real.
When you created the account, what name did you create? Even if you don't be on there.
So I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. We got your phone.
Pause it at 5:19 and 21 seconds p.m. Resume playing at 5:29. 5:29 p.m.
Meal? Like,
What's her
what's her
home
name? Like, her name.
Yeah.
Camille? Does she live over here
No.
on West William?
No.
So how would they have found her?
I have family that stay down there. That's why I was coming.
Did
Y'all
I
getting me?
think I
Y'all
missed.
getting me? Okay, so what if I told you that they said you was the one riding around, and when you see the girl cousins, you went, or you did some gun at her and shit while she was standing at the gas station, or a liquor store, wherever the fuck she was at, and you was like, this is like a week before you killed Buddy, week or two. You mobbed some shit
At
to
the
her.
gas station.
Like, huh?
Hell no, I ain't doing shit like that. My mama grave. It's my mama.
Don't be doing all that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. My mama's birthday tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. My mama grave. I ain't do no shit like that.
Okay, so you gonna keep it a buck from here on out?
Yes.
Okay, so when you walk through that courtyard, say you was going to Puff Club, but then you seen my man car. What made you stop right there and shoot? That is the question that I'm trying to get to. What made you stop walking up the gun and start shooting?
Alright. I'm going to the smoke shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I see the ice cream truck. So I make a little stop right there. You feel me?
Okay.
By the time I even get right there, that's you feel me? All this shit was going on.
No, I don't. No. Okay. Listen. The camera don't show you at an ice cream truck.
The camera show an ice cream truck there, do it.
It don't show you going to one.
That's why I was about to go.
You didn't say that, see?
I know.
You said you saw the move to it.
I didn't say
Oh
that.
my God.
Okay, let's start over.
I was threw up.
Let's start over.
Y'all confused me.
You said it,
I'm gonna
baby.
ask you as simple as I can. When you walked around that building and you seen his van, I see it all on camera. Let me remind you before you get to throwing out shit. What made you start shooting at that van? That's as simple as the question could be. It's simple.
When you pull it to the side, he yelled some crazy shit. I don't even remember what he yelled. And all this shit was just going on. Before I could even...
What is all this shit? What is all this shit was going on?
I don't know.
You have to be specific. There is a dead body. A dead person that you shot. So, when you say all this is going on, that's not good enough. Do you hear what I'm saying? It could be so simple to say, oh, he looked at me, seen me, you know what I mean? I seen him do some, and then I'm thinking, oh, this about to happen, so I pulled it out, and then I got the busting. Something. It ain't no yeah.
It's no
it's not. No, because that's not what you're saying.
No, that's what I was trying to say, though.
No,
you're not saying it, brother. I need you to make it make sense.
Can you be mad at me for being frustrated, though?
Frustrated with telling your side of the
This
story?
shit is serious, yes.
It's more than serious, man.
I know, this shit is
Listen,
serious.
let me,
This is my life.
as an understanding of what we're here to do today.
Of course I'm going to
Can
be
you please listen to me?
paranoid, all that shit.
Can you please listen to me?
Yes.
I promise I won't raise my voice, and I'm going to be as kind as I possibly can. We came here today to get an understanding why you had to take a life, right? Which means we want information from you to get us to understand, were there things that led up to this, so we can have an idea of what things we need to do to verify leading up to this occurrence happening today, okay? You're telling us about things that's old but can't be verified, right? You're telling about things that were said on social media that can't be verified.
I could try to show y'all something.
Okay. So now we're at a point where we're like, cool. He's willing to tell us what made him go from minding his business to the incident that occurred. And you have no middle. That's what a monster part looked like. For real.
To be honest, we've been in here over an hour.
I was saying that's why I came from the point.
But you gotta realize though, we're not talking like,
if you see the video,
we're not talking about something like, We both carry guns. It get ugly. I take kids and get the buses. You had your own, and you was walking over there to him.
That's
We
why.
need to know the why.
The ice cream truck. Everybody know me. I go to the ice cream truck. Every time I see the ice cream truck, I buy ice cream, a strawberry ice cream at that.
So in the middle of heading to the ice cream
No.
truck. All right. Let's say you go in there, but first you go into the puff spot, then you got the ice cream truck. So in the middle of all that,
All right, just like this. Say you walk into the store, right? But you see a little food truck or ice cream truck, and you just on some cool, just all right. Let me stop right here before I do this.
Mhm.
You know, I smoke weed.
Cool.
So you know, you get high, you get the munchies.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that was. That wasn't not like, you know.
Okay, so you see the ice cream truck, and then the van is coming, and you shooting at a van. Why? Go.
Before I even started shooting, he said something. He said some weird ass shit. I didn't even know it was him. How did I know it was him? You just said you seen me walking around. Like, that wasn't that. It wasn't like I just came on no hitting no shit. Hell no.
Okay.
What did he say?
He says.
What's the weird shit he
crazy shit? I can't even remember when he said it. I jumped. I was in shock.
You was jumping, you were in shock, but you don't recall what it was. But you know how it made you react. Does that make sense to you? This is not a mind game at all. These are your words and me listening and how it sounds to me. It made you shocked. It made you upset. It made you jump, but you can't remember what it was. But you know it was weird and crazy. So what was it? What did he say?
Man, he said, what the fuck did he say? He said some crazy shit.
You say,
I'm trying to remember so I could tell y'all exactly.
was it something about hurting you? Was it something about you a faggot? Was it something about, like, what we talking about?
No, you want us to wrap it up, take it back? Because I don't think we're gonna get to the why. We've been in here hours and change. And the why is all we really wanted. You won't give us that.
He said he was gonna kill me. That's
Said he
the
was gonna
why.
kill you?
Yes. Multiple times.
Tell me the exact words he used.
Just look up his
In that moment. That's what I'm talking about. In that moment. While you was walking, go get your little snacks from the truck. What did he say? Because mind you, whatever he said made you take the pistol from your pocket to open it to pull on the trigger. Wherever that conversation was.
I think he like some shit. Some sweet, some shit. He said some crazy shit. I ain't gonna.
He said this driving the car with the windows up.
He said the windows wasn't even. It was kind of like crazy.
I went there. I was there. Remember that.
It was
before you get to line again.
And most cars have air conditioning.
Before you get to going again, I'm asking you questions based on what I've seen. Okay.
Are his windows tinted?
I can't even remember all of that shit, bro. I was scared as hell.
About
I ain't gonna lie.
About what?
My life.
Why?
People saying they was gonna harm me.
What did he say that made you feel you were gonna?
He said he was gonna kill me. He said he had money on my head.
When did he say it? One question.
He was telling everybody.
No. This is the question.
It wasn't just one time.
Mr. Mowry, look at me.
You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Mowry, look at me. When did he tell you that he was going to kill you? One question only. When did the person you shot tell you he was going to kill you?
All the time. Then he said when that third, you think shit sweet. Ooh, said something. I don't know. What the
Who marked him?
Huh?
Who marked him?
Who marked him?
How you know he was there? Because let's cut the shit, bro. You walked straight over there and got the business. Let's cut the shit. You went around and flanked him around the building. Let's cut the shit. You knew where he was at. You went over there and you got straight to business. How did you know he was over there?
I told you I was going to the ice cream truck, bro.
And at what point did you see him?
How else did I know he was over there? I didn't see him.
At what point did you see him?
I seen the truck.
So you know where he drives.
No. So are we crazy for what you just said, or you don't know the dude, you don't see him, but you know who to shoot?
Yeah, about some shit.
From a van with the windows up. Okay. If that's the story you cool with, let me know. And we'll go with that. And we'll let everybody make a decision based on what you're saying. You cool with this story?
I'm not cool with the situation at all, bro.
I'm talking about, look, what happened happened. Are you cool with your story being, I was going to walk to I'm going to make sure.
Pausing it at 5:40 p.m. I'm just going to fast forward and resume playing at 5:53 p.m. Laptop seems to have just died.
Is that what happened?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, my laptop just died. I do have another prosecutor bringing me over a charger, but it died before he got here. I may need a few minute break right now. Less than 5 minutes. Mr. Kino's saving my life.
Well, alrighty then. Short break?
Yeah.
No, that's all. Yes. Yeah, in a minute.
How you doing there, young man?
Hello, Your Honor, how are you? Sorry if I'm interrupting anything. Sorry if I'm interrupting anything. Oh, awesome. Well, I'm glad I had a good time again.
Yes, what did you want to say? It don't automatically go back to home.
Okay.
What?
I'm so sorry. Just thanks for reminding.
You're okay. What?
It's nice of you to keep me laughing.
I didn't hear it.
There's not too many people who keep me laughing.
Right there.
Well, we report again together on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it.
yeah. Remember that guy that who was like off that day? He's on meds now. He's
Oh.
really much, I saw him Friday, much better. Yeah.
Mr. Prosecutor, let me know.
Yes, I appreciate everyone's patience.
Guy on my YouTube follower who traveled to Virginia, got on a roller coaster, and a piece of the roller coaster fell off and hit him in the head. Messed it up severely.
How?
Guess they didn't expect
Who goes on those things?
roller coaster.
Oh, I would talk about David went on one at, one of those places, I can't remember where. And, he got off, he was with one of our kids at the time. I said, I wasn't, he goes, it felt just like being in a car accident, over and over.
Yeah, it bounced you around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, when you're getting on, and there's a net underneath to get the stuff that falls out of your pockets, you know? Yeah, I don't like those things. I'm sorry.
So, I was dating my wife, we went to see the point, she talked to me and getting on one. That's when I knew she was the one. She was able to talk to me and getting on the roller coaster.
I hate those things. Ugh. Go over to Frank Murphy and take one last look around.
I rode past him today.
Gotta go take another
Please stop. When?
Y'all see the video?
It's your words, love. You telling the story.
Fuck the video.
Tell me the story.
We trying to get your story.
Why you keep getting stuck at the part where you have to make it make sense? Whenever you have to make it make sense, you get stuck. You get stuck. You can't figure it out. You get to yawning and shit with no air coming out your mouth.
I'm just sorry, cause
So if the car was not moving,
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I'm scared as hell. That's why y'all keep talking to me, and I'm like, it's not that I'm lying. It's not
scared
that,
of what?
This whole situation. I never been in this shit.
You was man enough to get out there and start busting at somebody, and you killed them.
Listen.
So be a man and stand up to what you did and tell the fucking truth. Stand on it. You a man, right? You was a man when you had that trigger in your hand. That's cool.
I don't go around hurting people though. I don't.
Okay, right now we got somebody that's dead, and you sitting here, you sitting across the table from me, telling me that you don't remember shit.
Look up.
So that's cool.
Find his name on the it was trying to bring everything back to me. So it's kind of like.
What's the name? We keep asking you what's the name, and you keep saying you don't remember, but then you keep saying search the name.
London Lester. I think that's it.
that's the name that's the account that you received a threat from, London Lester.
No. I never said I received a threat from. I said he was threatening me on making posts and stuff.
When?
Just period.
Did he use London Lester's account to make those posts?
I'm not sure. He probably did.
How would you know it was London Lester making the threats if he didn't use this?
He was right there for sure. For sure.
I'm sorry?
Hey, right here for sure.
For sure what, baby?
He what?
So you probably find some shit on there.
What's your first name?
Demetrius.
What's your nickname?
Shit.
Meech. You can't be serious right now. There's no way you are, man.
For the record, I'm stopping that at 5:53 p.m. Officer Williams. Do we have you look at the screen and publish what's been previously admitted as Exhibit 10? You heard some testimony. You heard some testimony just now about a pub shop. Are you familiar with the location of the pub or smoke shop?
Yes.
All right. And if we're looking at what's been previously admitted as Exhibit 10 here, do you know which way the pub shop is?
If you come out of the parking lot and make a right towards the lodge.
And so That would be coming out of the parking lot across the street, correct?
Correct,
So it's towards the left from this vantage point,
yes.
and towards the right, what is the nearest intersection?
Oh,
Oh, Warren.
yes,
And we heard some testimony about what was admitted as exhibits 3 and 4, those photographs from a parking lot. Do you know where that is in relation to sort of the vantage point we're looking at here?
yes, it's further away from this camera, behind the building where the shooting took place, in the apartment complex.
So that would be behind the building where you found the casings at?
Correct.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examine.
Thank you. So, by the time you made it out to the scene of the shooting, other officers had been there before you, is that correct?
That's correct.
And, what time do you think you got out there?
I'm not sure.
Well, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock,
Maybe an hour after the incident.
okay, and that is a guess, right, as you told us, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so, when you got out there, how many officers do you think were there?
In the immediate area I was at,
Yes,
there were a few members from the homicide team, as well as K-9, and multiple responding officers.
okay, so it's fair to say, well, strike that. Did you look through the entire area yourself for casings, or did someone point out to you, this area where you saw casings?
They were pointed out to me.
Okay, who pointed them out to you?
That would be my sergeant, Jed Rutledge.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Jed Rutledge?
So did you perform a search of the entire area yourself, or just go to that area that was pointed out to you?
That was pointed out to me.
You told us that, well, this incident occurred on June 19th, is that correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Mallory was arrested on what date?
I believe that would be July 10th.
Okay. And were you part of the crew that arrested Mr. Mallory?
I was there during the arrest.
Okay, and what was he arrested for?
For probable cause of committing homicide.
Okay, so you've just used a legal term called probable cause, is that right?
That's correct.
And so you didn't have an arrest warrant for him at that time, is that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you got the arrest warrant sometime after you got the statement from him, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so you said probable cause. It's true, is it not, that there were a number of eyewitnesses to this incident, is that correct, to the shooting, is that right?
That's true.
And as part of your duties, as the officer in charge of this case, you conducted several lineups with these individuals, is that correct?
That's correct.
To see if they could pick out the person that they had seen do the shooting, is that accurate?
Yes.
And it's fair to say that, well, let's see, you did 3 photo lineups back in June, is that correct?
That's correct.
With 3 separate individuals, is that right?
Yes.
And Mr. Mallory's photo was in there, is that correct?
Yes.
And none of those people picked Mr. Mallory out, is that correct?
That's correct.
And so, what date was that, those lineups done? Do you know?
I believe the same night of the incident.
And there were live lineups done after his arrest, is that correct?
Yes.
With those same individuals, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, and, but so, tell me what was the probable cause that you based your arrest on?
Well, there was an anonymous tip given to a Wayne State police officer.
Okay, so there was an anonymous tip. So when you say anonymous, that's somebody who doesn't want to get involved or provide their name, is that correct?
That's correct.
Did you receive a name of that individual?
Yes, the
Okay.
Wayne State officer completed a report.
Okay, so the Wayne State officer provided a report with this tipster's name, is that correct?
Yeah, no, the name wasn't presented in the report.
Okay, and was this a tipster, was this somebody known to you?
No,
Okay, so you had no idea as to the truthfulness of this person, is that a fair statement?
yes,
I mean, it's not like you'd used him before, and he'd given you information on numerous occasions that had always been truthful, is that right?
correct.
You knew nothing about it?
No,
Okay, so you have an anonymous tip, and,
as well as the descriptions provided by the witnesses.
except for that, those same witnesses didn't pick him out of the lineup.
Right, they didn't know him.
I'm sorry?
They didn't know him, they were third-party witnesses.
Sure, and so those third-party independent witnesses who you said gave a description were shown photos and didn't pick them out of those photos, is that correct?
Objection asked and answered, and I think we get it.
Those individuals that you said gave a description were then shown photographs to see if they could identify Mr. Mallory, is that correct?
That's correct.
And they did not, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so, so we've got the anonymous tipster, the descriptions from the witnesses who failed to pick him out of the lineup, and what else?
That was it.
That's your probable cause for arresting him?
And then speaking with Sandra Lester in the background of her deceased son, her previously deceased son.
Okay, well, did she, so speaking with Sandra Lester about, I think you talked about that with Mr. Mallory in his statement, right?
Yes,
You said that, there was that you did your homework, right?
correct.
And that Mr. Mallory, was a suspect in killing the brother, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, now you reviewed the previous investigation in 2022 of the death of Mr. Lester London's brother, is that correct?
Yes,
And Mr. Mallory isn't named in there, is that accurate?
he was a person of interest in that investigation, yes.
Okay, and what did you do with that information?
Passed it to the officer in charge of the case.
All right, and so, are you saying the discovery that was provided in this case of the 2022 investigation, that when you reviewed the 2022 investigation, you found Mr. Mallory's name in there? Or are you saying that you learned that he was a person of interest because Sandra Lester said so?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
Where did you get the information from that Mr. Mallory was a person of interest in the 2022 murder of Jamil City? Is that right? Is that his name?
Yes,
What?
Janelle City.
Okay,
Originally from the family of Lenny Lester and Janelle City.
okay, so you got that information in 2024.
Yes,
Okay, because back in 2022, the person of interest was Jamil Lamar Walker, correct?
I can't tell you.
Well, may I approach? This is the information that was provided to me from homicide. Is that part of the investigation you did into this case? The 2022 information?
I passed the information forward to the OIC in that case.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking you. The information that you're looking at right now, that information relates to the 2022 case, is that correct?
Yes,
That's the murder of Jamil City, correct?
correct.
And the person of interest, go the other way, please. The person of interest was who?
This is the original workup.
Okay,
I
the
believe
original,
later in their investigation, they were able to develop.
okay, that hasn't been provided. I would ask if that information be provided to us, because what was provided to us has nothing to do with the later investigation. Mr. Sawyer?
I'm happy to inquire about it. I still just don't know that it goes to our probable cause analysis. I'm happy to,
It goes to the arrest of Mr. Mallory.
which is an entirely different kind of hearing where we bring in the officer from Wayne State and, you know. But
No, this officer just testified that he arrested Mr. Mallory for probable cause. And as a result of that probable cause, Mr. Mallory was held in custody and the day after was interrogated. That's what I'm asking him.
I have no issue with obtaining sort of discovery of the Wayne State. I have no issue with that at all.
Okay, thank you. So you received information as part of your investigation from the family members of Mr. City, is that correct?
That's correct.
And they told you that they thought that Mr. Mallory had something to do with that homicide also. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so you considered that as part of your probable cause to arrest Mr. Mallory?
Along with the descriptions and the video that we have, the screen light video, as well as the Wayne State video.
All right, so,
And then I missed it, I'm sorry.
and so, then, you also got a search warrant for Mr. Mallory's home, which was executed on the day he got arrested. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And that search warrant, you are the applicant on that warrant. Is that correct?
Yes,
And that contained your probable cause. Is that right?
yes,
And when you, so it sounds like before you went and arrested Mr. Mallory, you believed you had enough for a warrant, is that correct?
yes.
Okay, but you didn't get a warrant.
Not at the moment, no.
Now, the stills that we've looked at today, what time in the video did you take the stills?
I did,
You did?
yes.
Okay, what is the time on People's Exhibit 3, which is the Mr. Mallory in the parking lot?
I believe that would have been 2:08 p.m.
All right, and what about the car?
Vehicle, I'm not really sure. Will be after, I know he came back at 2:12 p.m., so it'll be sometime after 2:12 p.m.
Okay, but what
I
time?
mean, 2:16 p.m.
I'm sorry?
He came back to the apartment at 2:16 p.m. and there was moments after that.
He came back to what apartment?
That apartment there, we have seen later.
Okay, whose apartment was that?
He stated that it was an apartment from someone by the name of Jada, but
Okay.
we weren't able to confirm that.
Okay, and so the Exhibit 4 was at what time then you said, at 2:16?
No, it's after 2:16. He came back at 2:16.
Okay, after 2:16, how long after? An hour later, 2 hours later, 5 hours later?
Minutes. To my recollection.
Okay. As part of your investigation, it sounds like the questions you were asking Mr. Mallory, that you were saying that there was some bad blood between them, is that right? Between the families, is that correct?
That's what he was saying.
Okay, you didn't believe that?
I didn't say I didn't believe it.
Okay, as part of your investigation, Did you search any social media for the deceased in this case?
I believe I looked for social media, but I didn't find anything.
Did you receive any names that the deceased used on social media?
London Lester. And that's from
I'm sorry?
the defendant.
Well, did you ask the family members?
After the
Oh,
interrogation, I did not.
I'm sorry?
After the interrogation, I did not.
Okay, so after the interrogation of Mr. Mallory, you didn't do anything in terms of searching any social media?
No.
Did you, receive any phones that, were reported to belong to Mr. Lester?
Yes, there was a phone in his vehicle.
And was that phone dumped, as they say?
His phone and Mr. Mallory's phone are both being worked on. They're both being dumped.
Oh, so they have not been dumped yet?
They're still being worked on to get dumped, yes. I don't do the phone dumping.
Yes, I
Sometimes they
understand.
take a while.
I understand. Well, the deceased phone has been in the custody of the police department, I would guess, for at least 6 or 7 weeks at this point, is that right?
Yes,
And that has not been dumped.
it's being worked on to be dumped.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means it's with our person who does the cell phone extractions.
Would that be Sarah Markle?
Yes.
Did you ask for any search warrant to look for any social media accounts for the deceased in this case, or for Mr. Mallory?
I have not, no.
I don't have anything for now.
Can you read your record?
Very briefly. Officer Williams, were any 911 calls recovered in this investigation?
I'm gonna object, that's beyond the scope of my cross.
Goes directly to the sort of probable cause for arrest that you were just hearing testimony about. Officer Williams, were any 911 calls recovered?
Yes.
Did any of those give you descriptions of the individual?
Yes.
Were those descriptions consistent with the descriptions you received from the other sort of witnesses in that area?
They were.
And is there a difference in your mind as an investigator between a person of interest and a defendant?
Yes.
What might that difference be?
Person of interest is being looked at basically as a suspect for the crime, and the defendant has been charged with the crime.
No further questions for this witness.
All right. So probable cause that you said that you had at the time that you arrested the defendant was that you fit the description given by other witnesses, although they weren't able to identify this defendant line of the description, as well as an anonymous tip that he was a person of interest in the Stephen brother's death.
Now, the anonymous tip was from a person who spoke with the Wayne State officer and provided his name and date of birth for this homicide.
Right. And also that he was also a person of interest in the victim's brother's death as well, right?
And that information came from the family. About the brother's death.
So in addition to information you received from the victim's family, you say green white video, Wayne State video, and description of 911 call to receive as well. Is that right?
Yes.
So, any questions based on my question?
No, Your Honor.
Yes, were the 911 callers the same individuals that saw the lineups?
There was one separate 911 caller.
And was that person contacted to come into a lineup?
That person was contacted to, we got an interview, it was after the interrogation, so we weren't able to do a line.
What do you mean it was after the interrogation? You did live lineups after the interrogation.
It
Did you?
was days after, when we were able to speak to the last 911 caller.
All right, thank you, sir. You may sit. Any other witnesses for the people?
No further witnesses for the people, Your Honor.
Any witnesses for the defendant?
Not today.
Your Honor, at this time, the people have moved to bind over on both counts charged in the information. I'm going to dive right into whether this is a murder one or murder two. I'll just briefly, I suppose, address the probable cause for the arrest. I do think that's satisfied here. We have sort of the Wayne State anonymous tip that gave a name and date of birth and he indicated as it relates to this particular homicide. Also heard testimony about that Mr. Mallory may not have been a defendant, but he was certainly a person of interest in Mr. Lester's brother's homicide 2 years previously. And then the description from both witnesses, who some of it sounds like were 911 callers and some of them were other witnesses as well, providing identifications or at least descriptions, I should say, consistent. And I think ultimately that is by the probable cause standard necessary for the arrest, that lower threshold, I do think that's satisfied. I'm just going to jump into whether it's a murder one or murder two. Now, I think the key exhibit is going to be exhibit 10. That's that sort of zoomed in video that Sergeant Ford testified about, where you can see the individual. Now, I can't stand here and tell you that it's a man or a woman, but you can see an individual walking from the side of that apartment building wearing black pants and what I submit are white shoes, walking towards what actually turns the corner there and tells an ice cream truck, walking towards that ice cream truck right before that black, dark gray minivan comes blasting out of there, crosses the median and goes off the street. And it's that pace that individual is moving that's sort of slow and deliberate. And then we heard Officer Williams' testimony that is the area he ultimately observed 9 shell casings at. I'll submit, you can't see the bullets flying through the air, but you can make a reasonable conclusion based on what happens after that person walks that way, but that black car just takes off. And it doesn't even go do the whole loop around, it just goes right across that median. It's pretty clear, a good inference that something happened there. People's exhibits 6 through 9 are the photographs that Officer Fitzgerald testified about his observations of the vehicle that London Lester was in. There's a couple things that are really important to that make it a murder in the first degree. That is the damage to the vehicle, right? There are gunshots, or I would submit, suspected projectile holes. I think that's what an evidence tech would testify to. That's reach your own conclusion. The damage to the vehicle, all down the side, as well as those 2 windows.
How many times was the complainant shot?
The medical examiner's report indicated that he took 1 round to the upper back. But the photographs, specifically exhibit 6 and 7, 8, and 9, well, it's really 6, 7, and 8, show significantly more than one shot of damage. I'd submit that the number of shots, and then we also heard Ms. Lester's testimony that her son maintained his vehicle impeccably. I think that sort of goes to how there weren't those gunshot holes in it before. 9 casings there, multiple holes, but importantly, the windows on the decedent's vehicle are up. I suppose there are 2 ways you could do it, that he rolls down the window, there is some words exchanged, sort of maybe a reference to that in the interrogation. He gets shot and he rolls the windows up before essentially driving over the median in there all the way to the hospital. I don't know if reason and common sense would lead you to conclude that someone would do that. I'd submit this. Those windows were always up. There were no words exchanged that day. ultimately, there's no set amount of time necessary for premeditation, but the calmness that the individual was moving past the building there in Exhibit 10, they're sort of walking. This isn't a situation of someone blasting over their shoulder while running. I get that. That is a different set of facts from this case. You see the individual with the black pants and the white shoes walking calmly, and you see that black minivan blast out of there. I think it's a pretty reasonable conclusion that Mr. Lester was just getting out of there as quick as possible. He wouldn't have rolled up those windows, and ultimately, I think that's something that is for a jury to decide, right? Whether he rolls the window up after some words are exchanged, and I'll say importantly, there were never really any specifics in the interrogation as it relates to what was said. I'll just say this. When there were a part of the interrogation that I played that was that very beginning one. And the very beginning part where, when was the last time you went to Trumbull and Warren? I don't go over there. I got people with some heat there. So there are only two possible things that could happen when you go armed to a location where you might have someone with A or B there. One, you go there armed with a gun, a loaded gun. You see that person, and maybe you do exchange words. Maybe they throw something at you. Maybe they do something that makes you angry or upset and causes you in that moment to be impassioned in such a way that you pull out a gun and shoot at it. Maybe that be a manslaughter or a murder in the second degree. Or there's the second option. That you go to the neighborhood where you're beefing with someone. You got some drama, some sort of history. You go there armed with a gun and a loaded gun. And you go there because it is your intent to kill that day. Whether you knew they would be there or you saw them and you put that plan into action, I think ultimately that is going to be for the jury to decide. It's based on the calmness that the individual is walking along the side of that building there, where those casings are found. And I would submit that ultimately it's for a jury to properly decide that. So I'd ask the court bind it over as charged.
Yes, I object to the bind over. I believe, first of all, that there was no probable cause to arrest Mr. Mallory. That if there had been probable cause to arrest Mr. Mallory, the police certainly could have gotten an arrest warrant for him and sought a warrant for him regarding those charges. The officer testified that as far as he was concerned, his probable cause was an anonymous tip, not substantiated in any way. We have absolutely no idea who the anonymous tip came from. It could have been from the family, as well as the other information that he received later about Mr. Mallory being a person of interest in the murder. We had the description of the individual from the 3 eyewitnesses who were then given the opportunity to look at lineups, and none of them picked Mr. Mallory out in those lineups. So I don't know how that rises to the level of probable cause to get a search warrant and then to go in and arrest Mr. Mallory from his home on July 9th. Beyond that, it's my position, and I think the evidence has not shown a first-degree premeditated murder. It's kind of a strange circumstance here that if you follow the theory of the prosecution that there was a homicide 2 years ago of Mr. London Lester's brother, and Mr. Mallory at some point becomes a person of interest in that murder, we've got a 2-year time frame in between that murder and the shooting that happened on this day. And it's our position that the evidence is clear from the statement of Mr. Mallory, who is kind of a difficult person, it seems like, to have a conversation, to get information from. But we know that Mr. Mallory does have people who live over in that area. In fact, according to the officer, Mr. Mallory was picked up from someone's home. He's seen coming out of an apartment in that area at some point after the shooting took place. So he does have family or contacts over there that give him reason to be in that particular area. we have heard from Mr. Mallory himself that over these last couple of years, for a period of time in any event, that he has been, that there have been threats passed through other people towards him, that there have been threats on social media, that there was money on his head. I mean, all of which, unfortunately, we see very often in this courtroom, that there is retribution to pay, and so money is put out, hits are put out. And Mr. Mallory told the police that he had been operating those past, at least for a period of time, under the threat that something was going to happen to him at the hands of this Mr. Lester London and others, it seems like. So in this particular instance, we have a number of shots that were fired according to the theory of the prosecution. However, the number of shots doesn't really tell us that that is means that there's premeditation and deliberation. Oftentimes we look at cases like this, the number of shots fired, number of stab wounds inflicted. It really doesn't give rise to what we look at as a cold premeditated situation. We know from Mr. Mallory, I mean, it seems like without Mr. Mallory's statement, I'm not sure that there would have been charges here. But we take Mr. Mallory's statement, as the prosecutor is, that he's the individual that's in that photograph, that he's the individual that shot him. And what he said repeatedly is that he said he was going to kill me. When he said I was protecting myself, he said he was going to kill me. He had money on my head. And it seems like maybe he did have money on his head, because we later learned that the family believes that Mr. Mallory is a person of interest in the death of the brother. So it's my position that there's no probable cause for the arrest, and that anything that police or the people gained as a result of that illegal arrest should be suppressed, because it's the fruit of the poisonous tree. Secondly, there's no evidence on this record of premeditation and deliberation.
All right. So the people have chosen to charge and count one homicide and first degree premeditation. I have a picture, which is People's Exhibit 6, one of the pictures, as well as People's Exhibit 7 and People's Exhibit 8, that shows me a vehicle that's riddled with bullets. And I'm led to believe that there's at least 9, given the physical evidence that was found at the scene. And we all know that as it relates to premeditation, it doesn't have attached to it any specific time. It could be years, it could be months, it could be weeks, it could be days, it could be hours, it could be minutes, it could be seconds. But I submit to you that fire a weapon in the close quarters of a vehicle at least 9 times. Much of it in the door, some of it in the side windows of that vehicle. 9 times. I think a conclusion can be made that that person had time to reflect on those actions each time that he pulled that trigger. But even in addition to that, so there's really no question as to the defendant being the shooter. Pretty much tells us that in the interview that he had with police, that he is in fact the person who shot and killed London Lester. What are the circumstances surrounding it? The defendant would have us believe that Mr. Lester had a hit on him or some kind of bounty for his head. That may in fact be the case. I don't know. It's plausible that if Mr. Lester felt that Mr. Mallory was responsible for his brother's death, that he may very well have wanted him dead. I don't know. But looking at the totality of the circumstances here, we see Mr. Mallory casually walking. Doesn't appear to be running from anybody, doesn't appear to be upset or any of those things. Then we see this vehicle flying out of this parking lot, one over the knee and trying to get away from these shots that's being fired by Mr. Mallory, by his own admission, because he says he's the one who shot Mr. Lester. So I think that we have murder in the first degree premeditated, based on the number of shots, based on the totality of the circumstances. Because it's not murder in the first degree, I don't see any evidence of murder in the second degree or of a manslaughter. But I do find there is sufficient evidence of murder in the first degree premeditated felony firearm. Now, as it relates to the supposed illegal arrest, so I'm willing to bet that Mr. Lester's family, probably like Mr. Lester, believed that Ms. Mallory was responsible for the other death, Mr. Lester's brother. So they may have very well told the police that it was Mr. Mallory that was responsible for the death of London Lester. But the officer tells us that aside from information he received from the family, that the defendant fit the description that was given of the shooter, although none of these people who gave this description were able to pick Mr. Mallory out in a live lineup or in a picture lineup, whatever lineup it was. They weren't able to pick him out. So that he also received an anonymous tip, as well as viewing green light video, Wayne State video, and also another caller, a 911 caller who gave a description, all of which fit the description of Mr. Mallory. And Mr. Mallory was seen on the video as being in the area as well. Does viewing the totality of all those circumstances amount to probable cause, which is a lower standard than proof beyond a reasonable doubt? But it just may pass muster. That may have to be hashed out in another form. This court is satisfied that people met their burden of probable cause as it relates to the charges obtained. The court finds those charges recommended in the city of Detroit. The court finds probable cause to believe this is been bound over to Lake County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be August 13th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Then it will be remanded to the custody of the county sheriff.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.